Okay. We are here. I have a little bit of a spare time today, so I got into this live. I have a really busy life now, having 2 companies and a private life growing, as I already wrote on Twitter. So sorry for the short forwarding, but I have time right now. And so, first things first, today we are going to talk about obviously the macro situation with the DXY, the S&P, and all of that, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, on-chain with Bitcoin to know where we are at, to have a little bit of a recap. And we are going through the options that will expire tomorrow, and also with the Fed monetary policy and the Canadian banks, Canadian Bank, the BOC, Bank of Canada, that actually made a 50 BPS hike, and instead of 75 BPS. This forewarning, obviously, this warning us anyway, of a possible slowing down in the pace of the Fed raising hikes. Still, anyway, the Fed hikes. Let's start from this, from a macro perspective, going into all of the DXY and everything else, and why the DXY is getting weaker. Even if we have this 75 BPS hike on the 2nd of November 2022, as you see right here, 88.5% probabilities with a 100% probabilities of a hike, because actually we have this probability. If we watch the probabilities, we see that we have the next the next meeting at 50 base point with a 59.4% probability of a 50 BPS hike, and actually we see that going into February hike, we have a 25 BPS hike at the very least, and the market is pricing in from March 22nd as another 25 BPS and a slowdown, as you see right here, a stall in the pace, and a return actually of getting, let's say, how it's the unease in monetary policy coming at the end of 2023, and this is not actually for this pricing year. Is that all major governors of the Fed are actually talking about an easing policy going forward, slowing down the pace of hikes, and all of that. So the market is pricing in that, with the Bank of Canada actually raising 50 BPS instead of 75. This meaning that this helping the suggestion that the Fed will start slowing down the pace, and actually I think that as well. And as you see, the market is pricing in that also, because the as you see, the Euro USD chart right here is getting a little bit higher in the last few days, with the ECB priced in to have a 75 BPS hike the next meeting, and 50 to 75 BPS the next one again. So a series of BPS in the other banks. Meanwhile, probably the Fed will start slowing its pace. It will all be determined by the CPI prints and the unemployment print that are coming next. But in this case, as you see, is not the only one. The year that actually grown a little bit in the last few days. All other currencies got a little bit higher, and that helped out with the DXY getting a little bit weaker, as you see right here, falling down this line right here. If we take like something like this, let me just help you out saying it. It's just a curve that has broken down now, and it's got a little bit weaker, suggesting that it's coming to a point where a maximum point of has been reached, so a top is being reached. But I don't think we are really there to see the DXY getting down to some kind of level really weak. Probably we'll see a retest in the next few days of some trend line right here, maybe this trend line 112 or something like that, and before getting it down, it's even possible that we have another month here, and probably we may see some kind of head and shoulder or something, some pattern like that, that we have to see. That will lead the price down with the major, all the major news that are coming up. This obviously fuel the risk on assets that are obviously now starting. Let's talk about that. Bitcoin, in this case, still the base case of the that they talked about, the 14th of June of this macro bottom area is still in, and let's get the majority of my indicators onto the chart. So you see that in the last 2 days, Bitcoin actually got up from in 2 days more or less a 10%, 9.2%, and when we were here 25 of October, I talked about the fact that probably we would have seen Bitcoin at the very maximum reach this point, and we got there. I saw this confluence of the 100 EMA, the 70 RSI, and all of that with the short-term holder and long-term holder realized price. And there is also the realized price itself, that is more or less the long-term holder realized price is more or less there, because obviously the majority of Bitcoin's holdings are holded by long-term holders, so more or less the realized price is there, and so we got the retest of that, and we'll see next on onchain. So I think we are more or less at the end of this rally, even because if we watch the 4-hour chart, for example, we are at the 70 RSI and we got more or less to the 90, actually 80, 90 probably RSI to the upper Bollinger Bands, and we have and we needed a little bit of a slowdown in the pace. Now, I'm not expecting this to go down again at a very same rate, but it's probably something we should watch for, a slowdown again, a drop down of the price, because we reach a point where we are actually overbought on this 4-hour chart, for example, and we got the let me take this this chart on the daily here. If I can actually load up, okay. So you see right here that we had this higher volatility, and we had it on the 4-hour chart. Now is widening. There isn't really much to say about the fact that we didn't had this kind of movement yet. Yeah, because we don't have that much speculation going on in the market. The market is more or less illiquid. There is no real spot movements. There isn't much investors, and this movement was filled up almost by was filled up almost by liquidation cascade that we got yesterday and the other day. You see yourself here. Let's get only Bitcoin to have the clear view. 25 of October, 328 million short squeeze, and yesterday 332 million short squeeze again. So this movement was fueled up almost by the futures and perps market, and there isn't really much more to say about it. It's not that something really changed. This movement was fueled up by that, was fueled up by the DXY getting weaker, as we already talked about, and so the S&P's getting a little bit higher also as well. There was this this kind of movement in the VIX that got down and broke down from 30 levels and to the 27 actually, and all adds up for Bitcoin to this rally that I don't think we'll see getting higher. As of right now anyway, we have to slow down the pace and get at least to a retest of the 20k level right here before getting higher. And the 20k is actually a good zone to re-enter if you are it's not a financial advice. I have to say, all of this video is not financial advice, it's all educational purpose only to help you out to understand the market. So in my opinion here, if we are, let's say, we think that Bitcoin will go up higher in the next few weeks or next few days, this is the price I would like to enter, 20.1k to be sure, to enter here and maybe getting higher. But it's not my strategy right now. I'm just entering DCA when the time comes, every so in a while, and waiting for the end of the year to enter actually, and to enter well into maybe altcoins when the Bitcoin dominance will be up, but we will talk about that. And as you see right here, this is the daily chart, but if we watch the weekly, we are at a resistance as well. So we are here retesting the 12 EMA and the middle Bollinger Bands on the weekly chart. This is kind of the dividing momentum where we could see another drop down in the next few weeks, maybe retesting this lower level of 17k, or even we have the 30 RSI on the weekly chart that is 15.2k as of today, getting down a little bit, and so we'll have to see. I see this as a resistance, as I already talked about, I already speak about, as I already said. So I'm not in the in this cohort of people who thinks that what will happen next in the next few weeks will be a rally to the upside. I'm not thinking that. I'm still watching the fact that the Fed will rate hikes, the tightening will continue, and all risk on asset will be risk on, even in the fact that the yield on the 10 here, and maybe, if I remember, we will see about even that is still raising, even if we had a little bit of a slowdown. Anyway, this is the weekly chart, but in the monthly chart, we are not even out of these candles right here. We are still in the low area, and at the 22.3, 22.4. We have the 50 SMA right here on the monthly chart, and we didn't never test actually the 100 monthly EMA on this chart, and the lower Bollinger Bands are also on 12.8k. The 12k level is an important level, but I think that we will not reach there in the next few months. If not, if something really bad will happen to the market, probably a legislation event or something like that, news event, because actually we are at the very bottom, and I think this area right here, this huge demand area, as already talked about, 14th of June on the YouTube channel here, will support the price. And as of right now, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, we got there, and still this has holded up, even here at the very top of this candle. The next support on the monthly chart is here at 14, more or less 14 K, and at 14.8K right here we had the 100 monthly EMA. That is obviously a support area in my opinion, and anyway, we will see. But this is my opinion right here. We could go even lower in the next 2 months. We have to wait until the end of the year, and nothing has changed in the macro environment. It's just some speculation about the fact that the Fed will start slowing down the pace maybe faster. Meanwhile, the other banks will raise interest rates faster enough. With also some speculation about the Chinese getting into the market from Japan, but I'm not going into that argument yet because it's just speculation. I don't like speculation. I just like data on ends. So one fact before entering into the onchain is that Ethereum got higher and higher, and we got at 12%. It was 12% more or less in 2 days from here to here. 20% actually. Okay. Let's get it better right here. 18%. From in 2 days, and that is the fact that actually got me. We had this huge pump in Ethereum, meanwhile I was waiting the ETH Bitcoin chart to get down from this level, and probably this is because we had the news that the Ethereum in the last couple of weeks or days, I don't remember exactly, it was deflationary, and for the use of the chain, and if it's deflationary in the bear market, probably in the bull market will be even more deflationary. And well, I have my long-term holdings right now, so I'm not really scared about this. I will have like obviously to enter more into Ethereum, and got a little bit more of that as well, but I'm not that concerned because I'm still waiting for to enter the altcoin with the Bitcoin dominance getting higher. So, and we'll see that in a moment. As of right now, I'm still watching the same from here from Ethereum. This is is a lower high on the weekly chart, is a lower high also on the daily chart. It's a lower high wherever you see that, and we are above the 50 monthly chart, but the monthly 50 EMA on the monthly chart, but the monthly isn't ended yet. We have 4 days and more to go, so you know we have still more. We touched the 200 weekly EMA on the weekly chart and still retested as a resistance, so even with the 26 SMA as well. So we'll have to see how it goes, but I'm still waiting for this to be just a pump. People exiting Ethereum right here to getting maybe on the 14.2 100 level right here. And if this goes on, I will probably start entering right here and just entering a little bit more as the price goes down. I don't think we'll get here again, but in the case I'm there buying, so we'll see. And I don't see Ethereum flipping Bitcoin anyway. Not now, not in the next few months, not next year. Maybe in 10 years if it goes well. But Bitcoin is turtle, and the turtle and the rabbit. You know the story, no? So it could happen that the rabbit just got something really bad, and something really bad happens in a certain moment. So you have to, in my opinion, I have this opinion, to have my fit into boots to be happy whatever it happens. I have my Ethereum long-term holdings, I have Bitcoin long-term holdings. I'm bullish long-term for the two of those, but in the short term, I'm not seeing the bull market starting right now. I'll see it starting maybe coming into the end of the next year, not now. So this is what I think. For the Bitcoin dominance, as I already talked about, I'm still waiting. Let's get out the noise right here. I'm still waiting for the cyclical behavior to get us in a position where we are now actually searching for the bottom, and probably we will search the Bitcoin dominance bottom until the end of November into the first half of December, and then we'll start reaching a new height. Meanwhile, the year closes. The balance sheet, we have to close the balance sheet. The balance, yes, and there is the taxes. Tax day is going to be a lot for everyone in the world. So we'll have to see all of that, and what will be. I'm still waiting for this Bitcoin dominance to get up, all coins to bleed, and when it does, when we reach a point where we got another high, maybe like that, I will enter all coins. Meanwhile, the Fed will slow rate hikes and so on. So I'm not really impressed right now to enter. Still waiting a good opportunity and going slow. I have a lot room to go. We have a lot of room to go, and I'm not getting into emotion. I'm losing something like I'm losing the momentum. If Bitcoin goes up, I can't buy it anymore. I bought a lot and still bought. I will still buy a lot, so I'm not really concerned about the movements of this kind. 5, 10%, 20% is nothing in crypto, and I would like to have as much as Bitcoin, as much as Ethereum as possible, and as much as altcoins as possible to enter into Bitcoin when the time comes and we got into a bull run, into an alt season that will go through. I don't know when, but probably not next year. We'll have to see when it starts. Obviously, I don't predict the future, but when it starts, I will be ready. I will try to be the most ready I could. Or I can in general. Now we have a lot still. If we watch the stablecoin dominance, we have still a 26.56% of stablecoins of USD collateral anyway to enter the market yet, and this is a high point. When this will go down to a 20% level, probably we'll start seeing a bull run starting. The last time we were in November 2021, and in November 2021 what we got coming into December, obviously it start reaching new heights, and we are still in an area where I think we are on a risk-off asset environment. This is what I actually think. Now let's get into on-chain before it gets worse. So I will start saying that I'm saying we should start saying here the handbags. So the band balance, the address band balances, with the handbags that are still accumulating. Meanwhile, all of this downturn we got. Meanwhile, we got all this downturn. Sorry. We saw the AMBAX accumulating right here, and not only the AMBAX accumulating, but the whales becoming AMBAX actually. So whales accumulating so much, and you see right here they're actually getting out of the whales to get into the AMBAX. So whales accumulating too much that they becomes AMBAX, and this I already talked about a lot. And sharks instead are still more or less accumulating, more or less going sideways. Let's say they are not actually seeing the movement to the upside that they would have liked to. But as you see here, historically they are late to the pump, so and to the bull market. So I'm not really concerned about that. I'm more concerned about the fish cohorts that got right here into a huge accumulation, but started to go sideways in the last few days, weeks. So if we got some downturn from here and we got a little bit of a slowdown here, I will be more concerned. But now I'm watching the fish. They most likely know when the time comes to start decreasing their holdings and to sell into strength and to buy into weakness. And not only that, and we will see, but fish realized price is something I see as a huge opportunity to enter if it will ever be that we drop like right there. It's 12.5k more or less, the same that was the lower Bollinger Band for the monthly chart, as you already guessed. Here. Let's see if I can get it again. As you see, the lower Bollinger Band is 12.5, 12.6k, and as I already said, I'm waiting for their realized price in the case to enter as much as I can with all the possible, even maybe taking some loan to enter into Bitcoin or something else. As you see, crabs, shrimps, plankton, they always just keep accumulating and accumulating. They kept accumulating since ever since here, the crabs and the plankton and all of that. They do it as well, even since the 2018, 2019 levels, and they are just keeping growing in their address balances. Another thing, as I already said here, you see yourself that let's get the address band balance realized price. This is where we see the cohorts realized price. As you see that, let's take this first. Here there is a lot of cohorts that have their realized price, their cost basis right here at the 22. There was a 23, 24k level, and we got there. We retested all these levels as a resistance. We got down again. We got to the retest of the whales realized price, and we got the resistance, and we got down again. And now we are just there, more or less retesting this whale realized price. If this whale realized price, with the realized price in general that we will see, and the 200s and the short and modern, all the realized prices will be our resistance right here on chain. Probably will go lower again, and we'll see where. But I already talked about the fish realized price. You see yourself right here. Let's get out the noise. Okay, so this is the fish realized price, the 10 to 100 Bitcoin holders, and every time we got there, you see right here in the midst of the bear market, 2011, 2014, and here 2019, 18, the end of the 18, we retested this level right here every time, and it signed the bottom for the Bitcoin itself. And I'm seeing this as the really bottom in the worst case scenario ever that we have ever reached. And this actually it is a 12.3k. That is, as I already said, here 12.6 here, the lower Bollinger Bands monthly. In that case, I would like to see it to say, well, we are at a very bottom, and I don't care if we go lower. I enter with all I have, and taking loans and everything, because this is the opportunity of a lifetime for me, and this is what I will be doing. I'm not actually advising you to do that. As I already said, this is not financial advice. It's my opinion, and this is what I see. So another data right here, taking into the long-term investments. As you see, we are at a point where we are below the 200s on the weekly chart, MAs, and we are retesting today the realized price itself at 20.8, 20.9k. So we got a little bit lower effectively today, but you see we got to that level right here, 20.9, 21k, and we got a little bit rejected. So if this will be our resistance again, we'll probably go lower. I see a lot of resistance right now in these levels, and I don't see the underlying, even if in the long term the fundamentals of Bitcoins are growing, I don't see the bull market starting right now with all of that and the macro environment that we have today. Even with examining the behavior of market participants, the behavior of on-chain movements, and all the data I have on the TA side, technical analysis side, this is what I see as of today. I'm not saying that happening, and we are still below the SOPR, the 1 SOPR, and as you see, when we are below the 1, that is this yellow line, most of the time we are in a bear market, and we are not going to see a bull market until we get up above this line and we'll steady trending above this one for a long period of time. And we are not there yet, even here on SOPR, spent out to profit ratio. That is the profitability of the market itself in the aggregate. Okay, the market participant in the aggregate below 1 is that means that the market participants are actually underwater, and above 1, the market participants are actually in a state of profit. Okay, so if they are realizing profits above their cost basis. Another thing I've watched and I'm still watching is the aSOPR metric. Now, to understand the aSOPR metric, you should understand the Bitcoin days destroyed. Okay, so coin days destroyed metric, where, and I'm talking really much right here. So the aSOPR metric, the average spent output lifespan, or in this case average spent coin age, is the amount of UTXOs being spent in a certain period of time. So if this is a Bitcoin days destroyed metric where it takes in consideration only the UTXO, so the bill itself, and not the amount of the bill, is not the volume. So it takes in consideration if you spend one $5 bills and one $100 bills after 100 days, it counts the same. It's not taking into consideration volume, but only the time you spend a bill. In this case, the UTXO, so the transaction. And this spiked again. It spiked again in the last days. Meanwhile, let's say a whale started dropping into dropping a lot of their holdings into the market and realizing profit and losses. As I already said multiple times, even in the ChainLog school. And to see if actually this is meaningful and this is not just coming from a whales, and there is and to see if there is a long-term holder behavior that they are losing their faith in the asset, their conviction, we should go through the dormancy supply adjusted as well and see if this sustained amount, in fact in this case we got a lot of movement here as well from this whale, a long-term holder, realizing a lot of volumes. I remember 1 billion more or less movement from realizing profit and losses. and this show ups right here. If we have some kind of these levels, it could mean two things: a capitulation or a disbelief in the exit going on into the aggregate. But if we have something like this and just a spike momentum, I don't see it as a warning sign as of right now. And the same goes for the Bitcoin days destroyed. In fact, this is not going on into the Bitcoin days destroyed itself. That volume was not coming from all of market participants, but it was counted as just a spike in a momentum from a whale itself. So it's not to be worried about. Another thing is the supply, profit, and loss. One thing I would like to say right here, and I'm trying to get it faster to get out of the on-chain levels, and maybe get this slide lighter. As you see yourself, every time we reach below the 50, right here, we got up, and the 50 percentage of supply and profit actually, we got up and we got up. We never reached a real level below the 48, 49 here. Okay, so I think that the next time we get to the 48, 49 should be watched to see if entering there will be profitable. In this case, in the short term, following this strategy of buying below the 50 area and selling into the 55, 60 area was a good idea. And then just saying that the fact that this is actually bottoming right now. Every time we got below, and let me just take out all of this so I can remember where we are. Let me get to the percentage of supply and profit from here. That is, that we can see it better. Every time we got below and we reached this green level, we bottomed every time in every bear market. So we got to that point, and I think entering and DCing right there is almost good as you see is good. So I will mention that as a part of my DCA strategy to see and that we are below a 50% level on this percentage of supply and profits. Now, another thing I'm watching right now is the MVRV Crosses. MVRV Crosses that are actually more or less there. Actually, this is the last one on the long-term investment strategy that has not bottomed as an on-chain indicator, as an on-chain metric. And I'm seeing it right now really closely to see if the long-term holder realized price, MVRV, market value to realized value, is getting below the short-term holder. So the long-term holder is that blue, and the short-term holder MVRV is this red. If the long-term holder, let's say, profitability of the cost basis against the actual price of the asset gets below the short-term holder MVRV, we are historically in a very, very good place to DCA in, and a very bottom of the market. And you see right here, starting to get to the upside and then into a bull run. So I'm watching it very closely, and this is worth mentioning. Short-term order realized price, as I already said, short-term order realized price 21.5k today is more or less the same area as I already talked about on Bitcoin right here, and is the 70 RSI today on the daily chart. So we have a lot of resistance still ahead, even if we are still a resistance as a realized price, as I already said. And this is the short-term order realized price that actually made as a support in every bull market, and as a resistance in every bear market, as you see right here. And last time we touched it, we got very far below. So we're trying right now to retest it as a resistance, or break it and retest it as a support, and we'll see. It will make a lot of difference in one case or another, and I'm watching very closely. And the same goes for the long-term realized price that we are actually using as a resistance today, but we will see if we can break through that and through the short-term realized price and then use it as a support, then we'll probably see a little bit of a relief rally, or anyway a recovery rally. It's not the case yet, I don't think so, but who am I to assess what the future will bring? I'm not preparing for this recovery rally because I prepared all along the way. So I'm, as I already said, I'm not really in a hurry right now. So another thing really fast here is the realized profit or the realized losses distribution. So we saw that we got a lot of realized price yesterday, and that's coming from short-term holder cohorts, more or less just as you see right here, handbacks and a little bit of whales actually, but the majority are handbacks. Not very much as a volume if you want my opinion, but anyway a consistent amount into a bear market, into this kind of range right here. So we see that yesterday we got a lot of people realizing profit, and not as much people realizing losses, as you see right here. The same that goes from whales actually realized the majority of losses. So this to me means that we are actually seeing this resistance putting on ever again. I see a lot of confluence about this resistance, and I'm talking about the resistance yet. Another thing that we go through today is, and I want to talk about, we will talk about the aSOPR in just a moment, is the option. The option actually is, I prepared this. We saw the majority of option expire on the last Friday of the month, and tomorrow it was priced in since a month ago that the price of Bitcoin will be 22k at the very maximum, or 23, 24. We have a lot of the majority of the open interest into the call options, into the put options. We got the 19, 20k. So this is the price we have, and more or less they got it. I will say the very next Friday, the very next month is actually 25 November, and the 25 of November it is priced, Bitcoin is priced in to be at 28k, ranging from 20 to 28k in the same zone in the call. And but there is a lot of open interest as well, putting it down from 20 to 15k level. So we'll have to see what the market will actually price in tomorrow, when this contract will be closed, and there will be some kind of volatility in the next few days, because every time we close options in the 1, 2, 3 or 4 days, the market is repricing all of the option closed, and buying new options, forecasting new prices, and we'll see. This will be interesting to see what the next forecasting, what the market will price in as an option next month. For now, this is the kind of things, the thing we're seeing. Probably a little bit of a rally until that 25k level. We'll have to see. We'll have to see in the next few days. But I think that the important thing is that tomorrow we are more or less at the same spot right here. So they got in, and we'll have to see in the next 1 week into the next CPI print, into the next rate hike, into the next unemployment print, what the future will bring. So I spoke a lot, and oh yes, the aSOPR metric right here. We got the retest of the 1. Now, I talk about the aSOPR a lot as well. When we are below 1, is that like the SOPR, but it's adjusted, getting out the 1 hour transaction that makes a lot of noise. So this is more accurate as a metric on chain, and we are still below 1 for the most, but we are actually entering into an area where we spike again up into the 1.02, the 1.01, and if we actually go, we are going to retest the 1 as a support multiple times. Probably we are going to see something changes, that something changing into the macro participants' behavior of the market, not the macro itself, but the participant behavior of the crypto market and on Bitcoin as well. So I'm still saying, but for now, the majority of the time we have spent is below 1, and I don't see the bull market starting right now until we got this above the 1, retesting the 1, above the 1, and retesting the 1 as a support, and I'm not seeing that. So this is most likely what I'm seeing in the market as of today. I see Bitcoin just ranging here, getting a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but not something really changing that much. I still want to wait until the end of the year, because I think that then we could have more infos about the future. The balance sheet will close, and we'll see into January what will happen. I'm not still in a hurry, as I already said. So if you have any question anyway, I'm going. You can make it on Twitter. You can get to me on ChainLog. If you have any friends that want to know about the market, I have some courses. They are really cheap because you can get just a subscription and get all of that with just one subscription, or you can enter just for a week to test the ChainLog services. You can do whatever you want. If you have any question, I'm on Twitter. I am on Telegram. I have all the links into the description on the ChainLog tree. So do whatever you can. Stay safe. I will glad if this will help someone, and we'll see you next time. Okay. Cheers.